Hey, it's Thursday. I'm Jer Stays, and from the Paris of the Midwest, this is your Daily Detroit, sharing what to know and where to go around Southeast Michigan. It's February 18th, 2021. We've got a bit more snow coming before our warm-up next week, so put another log on the fire and let's just get started. Here's the latest on the pandemic. The city of Detroit has opened vaccine eligibility to residents 60 years of age and older with underlying medical conditions. Some of what qualifies includes cancer that's current or in remission, asthma, heart conditions, dementia, and other things. That number for appointments is 313-230-0505. Up in Macomb County, the city of Sterling Heights has leased an old Sears service center near Lakeside Mall as a drive-through vaccination center. They expect to be able to administer up to 2,000 doses a week, and right now plan to keep it open through the end of June, though that could be extended. There's no word given when it will open, but it will initially serve those 65 and older. It will eventually be staffed by firefighters and paramedics serving the city of Sterling Heights. The government of Macomb County is partnering with the Smart Bus system and the Richmond Lennox EMS service to expand drive-through vaccines as well to anyone older than 65. The number for that is 586-421-6579. That's 586-421-6579 for an appointment. They're also working with Meijer and Rite Aid to roll out the vaccine. In Oakland County, Executive Dave Coulter says they're dispensing 99% of vaccine doses they're given. They say they vaccinated more than 40,000 people. They're doing it through 3 current partners, Honor Community Health, Henry Ford West Bloomfield, and Meijer. But limiting all of this is that vaccine doses are in short supply nationally. A timeline that initially included vaccines for everyone who wants it in April has been moved into the summer by the Biden administration and Center for Disease Control officials. Numbers are continuing to look better across the metro region, though, on the virus. Wayne County and Oakland County's cases are below 10 per 100,000 people per day, and positive test rates are around 4%. Macomb County is faring a little bit worse, but not by much. Statewide, Governor Gretchen Whitmer is facing criticism for quietly extending the 25% dine-in capacity order through March 29th. This includes a 10 p.m. curfew. Some had thought that restrictions might be lifted a bit come this Sunday when the old order would have expired. It was updated without fanfare, and that's rubbing some people the wrong way. I understand that a number of local restaurants are waiting for 50% capacity to reopen to make their books work. A large industry lobbying group, the Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association, has been pushing for more openings. Meanwhile, a number of smaller operators are leaning towards staying closed for safety reasons. The MRLA is looking for hard benchmarks in order to decide when restaurants are open or closed. And finally, the major event cancellations and deferments are back for 2021. The Movement Electronic Music Festival, which usually draws thousands upon thousands of people from around the globe, said on Wednesday that their Memorial Weekend dates aren't possible. Organizers said they're working to gather more information about future dates and ticketing options, and that they will have more information regarding options and refunds next month. The search for a man who fell through the ice on the Detroit River off the coast of Belle Isle early Wednesday evening has been suspended. Reports say a couple called in to Detroit police as they saw the man was jumping on the ice and fall into the 32-degree river over by Lake Tacoma. There was also a report filed from the Canadian side. The rescue team was not able to go onto the ice where he went in because it was so thin. Coast Guard data shows that functional disability sets in after a half hour in the water at that temperature, and it's tough to survive longer than 45 minutes. The U.S. Coast Guard has not provided any identifying details about the man as of this recording, and Michigan State Police has not found any abandoned vehicles either. If anyone has tips, Michigan State Police are asking people to call their line, 855-MISH-TIP. Be careful out there. In an update to a story we've been talking about, the owner of the sprawling Penobscot building has died. Canadian billionaire Andreas Apostolopoulos passed at his Toronto home on Monday. He was 69. Born in Greece, he built an international real estate empire. His company, Triple Group, owned the Silverdome in Pontiac for a time, as well as currently owns the Penobscot. The latest ask around purchase price was in the $100 million territory, according to Crane's Detroit Business. Triple Group bought the building for $5 million almost a decade ago. The tall tower of the Penobscot was built in 1928, and until the completion of the Renaissance Center in 1977, it was Michigan's tallest building. The press release from the company said that, quote, "The Greek-Canadian billionaire is best known as the modest businessman who revitalized properties in empty business areas and communities, redeveloping them into useful income-producing assets," unquote. Let's do a couple of food stories. The Fisher Building has been without a cafe for a while with the demise of the Fisher Bakery, and before that, an outfit from New York that focused on hot chocolates, but that is changing. Eater Detroit reports that Promenade Artisan Foods out of Trenton will open their second location today. The cafe will be grab and go from 8 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Thursdays until mid-March, when the dining room opens to serve breakfast and lunch. And I know a lot of Metro Detroiters love Olga's Kitchen. It's a brand that's been around here for more than half a century. And if you know about the original Olga or Snackers with that Swiss almond cheese dip, well, then you know. Anyway, up in Novi, the location there has been redone and they're doing some specials. It's in West Market Square at Grand River and Beck Roads, across from Ascension Providence Hospital's Novi campus. Olga's has been trying to find its footing in the ever-changing restaurant scene that's been moving from dine-in to fast casual. It'll be interesting to see what this place looks like. Now for a trio of things in the built environment, the Saarinen House at the Cranbrook Academy of Art in Bloomfield Hills has been accepted into the National Trust for Historic Preservation's Historic Artist Homes and Studios program. It joins 3 other preserved homes and studios of significant American women artists that are open to the public. There are now nearly 50 sites in the program. And the house is an Art Deco masterpiece that was designed in the late 1920s. For 2 decades, starting in 1930, the Saarinen House served as the home of the Finnish-American artist couple Loija Saarinen, the Academy's first head of the weaving department, and Alile Saarinen, Cranbrook's first resident architect and the Academy of Art's first president. Loija was a master of fabrics, often used in her husband's and son's creations. The restored interior features the Saarinen's original furnishings and early furniture designs by their son, Eero Saarinen. Eero was behind the famous Tulip Chair, the TWA Flight Center at JFK Airport in New York, and along with his father, designed the General Motors Tech Center in Warren. The 2021 tour season begins May 1st with tours designed to safely accommodate 6 people because, well, pandemic might be something you want to check out. Then, to a story just north of 8 Mile, Urbanize Detroit, a news site focused on urbanist developments around the region led by a friend of the podcast, is sharing that the city of Southfield is taking feedback for its 2026 master plan. Southfield is one of the most suburban of suburban areas, with no real downtown and a focus on office towers and sprawling developments. However, in recent years, they've tried to include things like bike paths and city designs that are more attractive to younger residents. For instance, 1,300 apartments are going into phase 1 of what's happening on the old Northland Mall site, called Northland Village. They're taking different sorts of feedback through March, and I will link to urbanize.city/Detroit in the show notes and to the city's public feedback link. I encourage you to take a look. A draft plan is to be presented to the Southfield City Council in early May. And if you're in Dearborn, there's a small business grant that's still open for up to $15,000. The Dearborn Economic and Community Development Department has a total of $1.3 million to support businesses for up to 6 months. This money doesn't have to be paid back, to be clear. The reimbursements will be sent directly to landlords, mortgage companies, utilities, or providers of other approved services for costs incurred over a 6-month period. Applications will be accepted on a rolling basis until funds are no longer available. Applications will only be accepted online at cityofdearborn.org/SBGCovid. And of course, I'll put a link in the show notes. Thanks to our members at patreon.com/dailydetroit for supporting the show and making it possible. Thanks to Streambeats for the interstitial music. Since it's the first time we used it, want to give a shout out to Harris Heller. You're the guy, and thank you. I'm Jairus Days. Take care of each other, and I'll see you around Detroit. We'll talk tomorrow.